draw inspiration from last season and that 10-game winning streak that basically we were nowhere in the championship, and from there we actually got promotion. And that segment of our history, we should draw inspiration from again. And I think we can, because this is like a little mini season, like a little mini cup, and I think we should treat it like that. This kind of little segment of the season now, and say, look, let's just go out fearless, try and just play football and beat everybody. I know we try and do that anyway. We've got McGinn back, which is a massive, massive, massive bonus for us. But let's draw inspiration from what we did last season, and I think we can do it again. And we've got a perfect opportunity because it's another championship team, newly promoted. I don't care where they are in the league because that was pre-lockdown, that was pre-COVID. Everyone starts on a different level now. So I reckon we've got... I'm optimistic about this now. I'm very optimistic about it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, it's literally like a mini summer break. These guys should be as fresh as they can be. Like, we came out of the blocks this year, kicking and, playing really well. So I think I think we've got a good chance. But then everybody else has also got a good chance. We've just got to be better than them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is, we started this season, we didn't have all these players. A lot of them are new, never really played together. We've only really got Samata now that's new. So everybody should be good.
I think you make a massive point about him again. I think what he allows other players to do is play their position. So let's just use Nakamba as the example, right? Without McGinn, the likes of Nakamba and Louise are trying to do a little bit more because McGinn does so much in our team. If he's back in and playing like he can, or we know he can, it then allows those players to just concentrate on their positions. Like Nakamba, if he's actually in because Smith looks at his statistics and he's actually quite good at intercepting, let him do that and keep him in the simple stuff, keep the interceptions, pass it to him again or Grealish, and then they can carry on and do what they need to. And hopefully that actually is the catalyst, having McKinn back, bringing in that kind of dynamism to the team where he's actually breaking it up, but also similar to Grealish where he's carrying the ball, but McGinn does something, he does it totally differently, man. That guy's different in terms of how he carries the ball, and then he's a bit more combative, isn't he? He gets in and about a little bit more as well.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. I think if you got McGinn in there, it just gives confidence to the if you're playing in midfield and you look alongside and you got McGinn running being a general, that gives you a lift. You think, oh, you know what, I don't have to do that. I just got to concentrate on this man, that man, and that's it. And that's all I've got to do.
It'll take pressure off Grealish as well, won't it? Because I think Grealish is
will.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's proper bromance, isn't it? Them two as well. So there's always been those links in the Premiership, whether it was Gerrard and Torres and whatnot. They'd always look for each other. Gerrard and Owen, that kind of example. Okay, we're not talking at that level, but still, they will always look for each other and they'll make the runs for each other as well, where it'll be spotted and played in, hopefully.
Yeah. I agree with that. It'd be interesting what formation he plays and if he sticks with that formation, because I reckon he'll play 4-3-3. Do you think, guys?
Well, hang on. Let me ask you a question. What formation do you? I'm going to share my screen now for 1 sec. All right.
Okay.
Getting technical now.
Yeah, mate. We're to advance our game here now. Okay, lads. So let's play. What formation we want to see, and which players we would put in. Okay, so what formation do we think is our best? 4-3-3, 4-5-1, or is it the 3-5-2?
Okay.
Are we basing this? Are we basing this on our current our next team, the ones that fit and everything like that?
Exactly. Who should we be playing against Sheffield?
Okay.
So
can I start? Can I start with this? And then you guys can obviously. Sorry, I'm a bit passionate about this. Yeah, the only reason being, like I mentioned earlier on in the blog and so forth, 3-5-2. I believe we should play 3-5-2. We should play to the best of our ability. We should play the best players that we've got. We should utilise the the skills and the ability of these players. So for me, it should be 3-5-2, starting with
just the devil's advocate on that, and I'm not disagreeing with it, but just to play devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
If we played the 3-5-2, we predominantly, and maybe just because our confidence was low, we turned into a 5-3-2, and that was the problem I found, is that we ended up being too deep. We ended up having 5 across the back, and the problem is when we did break, we had no one to break to. Wes wasn't holding up the ball well enough to bring other players in, and we just couldn't get out quick enough, and then we always got pegged back.
I totally appreciate that, Sam. But what I'm trying to say is we haven't got Wes there now. Well,
True.
You know, we've got Samatta there now. You know, so
for sure.
You know, Samatta for me is more of a, how can I put it? He's got a bit more about him than Wes. You know, Wes was a bit static. You know, he may have been a big player. He may have been able to hustle and bustle some of these defenders, but for me, he didn't get about the pitch too much.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's only young, and Samatta's got a bit more. He's got a bit more experience, hasn't he?
He has got a bit more experience. He definitely has got a bit more experience. He can, you know, from what I've seen, they've both played in the Belgium league last season. You know, Samatta's, if I'm right, did he get more goals than Wesley last year?
Oh yeah.
I believe he did. You know, but at the same time, I think he's got a bit more about him, and I think he's more suited to the Premier League. In my opinion, he's more suited to Wesley.
On the Jaggers, what's your thing?
My team will be Mings, Engels, Konza.
Goalkeeper first. Goalie first.
Sorry.
Is Heaton
we
back?
obviously haven't got Heaton isn't back. No. So we'd have to go with, you know,
Rainer?
I like Jed Steer, but I even like that kid that we got back, Sarkic, but it's not. I don't know. Let's go for Rainer. Let's go for Rainer at the back.
Okay.
Rainer in defense. Rainer at the back. Then we'd go for left side of defense.
Are we doing 3-5?
Yeah, we'd go for 3-5-2. So let's say your number. Yeah, no, I wouldn't put Mings in the middle. I'll put him in the same position as he plays for England. As he's played for England, sorry. So
on the bench, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put him, yeah. Left side of centre back. In the middle, I would think Engels would be more suited there, right? Yeah. Then I'd go for Konza on the right side. Left back, left wing back, I'd go for Target. And for me, the reason being, you know, obviously he's well, I'm not going to say obviously, but he's one of those players that can up and down the pitch. You know, he's got a good cross on him, so that would be suited for someone like Samatta. Jobert on the right side.
You choose Jobert over Elmo?
The reason being, I think he's a bit more fitter than Elmo. You know, he may not have the experience and the crossing ability, and you know, we've already said that Elmo's one of our best crossers of the ball, but he can improve. I really think, you know, Jobert is one for the future as long as he improves on his crossing ability. So Jobert there.
Yep.
I'd go for Louise and Nakamba in position 7 and 8.
Would you not go for McGinn?
The reason I wouldn't go for McGinn there in that position is because I think he's more capable of helping us out up front more than Louise. You know, Louise honestly, I really think he's going to become a really good player. You know, we've seen it before. People like Jordan Veretout, people like Jordan Amavi. You got you know, you've had a lot of players for Villa that have come in, and you think, who are these guys? You know, and then suddenly, a couple of seasons later, they're bloody flourishing in these Italian leagues or the French leagues or whatever. You know, I really think Louise is going to be a good player, but I think his best position is a central midfielder, as that, not an attacking midfielder, not a defensive midfielder, but a central midfielder just there. Nakamba, defensive midfielder, definitely. You know, he can break up the play. He's someone that, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, you know, I don't know where I've seen this stat. I'm going to be honest, you know, I don't know which newspaper it was or which article it was. He's classed as one of the second best defensive midfielders in this country per minute he's played. So, you know, he breaks up everything. So I think he's one of our best defensive midfielders that we've got. We've seen him, you know, in the cup final, that tackle he made on Sergio Aguero. Bloody hell, you know, I got nothing more to say. You know, it wasn't a foul. It definitely wasn't a foul. It wouldn't have been a foul 10 years ago. Definitely, you know.
That was a good tackle. That was a great tackle, man.
It was a great tackle. It was a great
tackle. Yeah.
Number 9. Let's move on. Number 9, McGinn. The reason I'd put McGinn there, he's a box-to-box player. You know, he'll help out wherever he's in midfield, but at the same time, he can get a goal from nowhere. You know, he's got that left foot, take a shot. You've seen that goal against Sheffield Wednesday. It come out of nowhere. You know, who can score a goal like that? You know, it's in their wildest dream, you know, to score a goal like that. So for me, McGinn's he's got the vision. He's got the striking ability. He's got the power. He can play box to box. You know, he can help out. He can help out at the back. He can do things at the front. So if we play him up there, I know let's say if you swap McGinn with Louise, do you think Louise will be able to get back and help out? You know, in those defensive positions, I doubt it very much. You know, I don't think he's got the passion, or, you know, got nothing against Louise. I think he's a great player, but I really think McGinn, you know, he's got that self-confidence, self-motivation to get back there and help out, you know, help out the guys at the back and so forth, even though he's playing just behind the strikers. So that's why I play McGinn up there. And then, obviously, like you say, number 10 would be Jack Grealish, and up front would be Samatta. So Jack Grealish just playing behind Samatta.
Okay, so McGinn in the centre.
It would be like a 3 in midfield then.
It would be a three.
So put McGinn back there.
More like this kind of.
And yeah.
Okay.
Definitely like that. Definitely like that. You know, I'm not saying that it's got to stay like that. You know, players are interchangeable. If you've played football before, we all know that, you know, you got to fill in your positions. You got to help out everywhere on the pitch. You know what I'm trying to say? So everyone's got their jobs to do, you know, but for me and the players that we've got, this would be the best team and the best way to play.
Sam, how about you? Well,
you know what? Let's go with going into this formation. And actually, you've got a little bit of cover. Let's just say Gilbert does go up a little bit, and you've got Grealish shifting to the left like he likes to do. You can actually naturally fit that as a back four. So Konza moves across, Engels and Mings, and then Target fills in left back. So you can actually get it a little bit of cover if you needed to, as well as Gilbert did go up. And then you got Nakamba holding a bit, Hannah. This could work. A lot of it depends on. So Chef Wednesday play just next level when it comes to formation. They don't hold their positions very well. You'll see the centre back sometimes on the right wing. So in that case, we need to be, when we're playing this, and especially if we've got the 3 at the back, we need to be disciplined with one wing back going forward, the other one staying back, and then making sure you create enough cover. That then, like I mentioned before about McGinn being so dynamic in his role, that hopefully gives Nakamba the kind of the authority to just stay. Don't go too far forward from the centre circle. You know, don't go any forward than that unless we're chasing the game. But otherwise, just stay, break up the play, make sure you're playing that, you know, the typical Makelele role kind of thing, just breaking up. That can work. Yes, it's a bit narrow up top, but actually we can make that work with the players, because Grealish can go one side. Like I said, he can go either side, and you got Target or Gilbert filling in. It actually gives optimism. To be fair, when you look at that team, you've got, come on, there's some quality there. And you're right, we've got quality in that team.
Yeah.
if you were going to go different to that, the only thing I'd say is if we have, let's just say we went with the wings, the 4-3-3 type of option, the kind of midfield three would probably, for me, initially stay the same. I'd love to see Jack in the middle as well, but he doesn't get, I don't think he gets on it enough. But when I've seen him play on the left, he can come in, he can do from the left, bring it in. He's got that, he likes playing off, bringing it in on his right. So maybe the only change I'd make is if we did the 4, is maybe removing Konza and having the 4 at the back, playing the 3 in the midfield that you've got now, but actually having Grealish on one side, maybe the left, and then having one of either Trezeguet or El Ghazi on the right. Just giving it that width. And that, again, I think, guys, it depends on Smith in terms of if he's looked back and if he's comfortable with his formation, saying, actually, whether it's a 3-4-3 or a 5-3-2, whichever way, I personally think he's going to go for 3 up top. And then whatever at the back will fit in and around that. But I like the shape of this. You look at it and think you can beat a team with that. And whichever team, you can beat a team with that.
Yeah.
Sam, the reason why I say this is because to not to win a game, but what you want to do is not lose a game, right? And for me, this is a team that you concede, won't concede many goals. Hope, fingers crossed, you won't concede many goals. Yeah, we've had, mistakes with people like Engels. Konza's Konza's a great player for me, in my eyes. Konza's going to be he's going to be a great player. He's going to be a great player. But, he's a bit young at the moment. Mings is, he's sometimes can lead to a few mistakes. He does a few things, he cuts in a bit. We've all seen it before, but these are good players. At the end of the day, they just need a bit of confidence, a bit more time in the Premier League, and I'm sure a bit more game time, and I'm sure this will be as long as they stick together, this could be a good formula. But like I say, as long as you got your defence there, you've got your defensive players there. They're not conceding many goals. The attacking players that we've got there,
The only thing that team lacks is pace, and without having those wingers, it lacks pace.
Exactly. But I probably wouldn't go with this formation, but we'll discuss that in a second. But so, you're right. It lacks pace. Gilbert's quite quick and he can get back and forward. So it's not the fastest. It's not slow either. And then you do lack a bit of wing space, wing pace there. So
you're right.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You're right.
I'd probably say Grealish and McGinn would be in front of Nakamba and Louise. So it would be more like a 5-4-1.
Okay.
If they could go to the wings. Wouldn't you?
I'm more like this. What do you think?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to say. The bit of fluidity there where they can move around.
I'd probably, personally, looking at a 4-3-3. I know that we already play that kind of formula, but 4 at the back. Then I'd have, instead of Engels, I'd have Ghazi on.
Yeah.
And I would play Samatta up top, left, just behind Samatta, I'd have Grealish playing the left side and Ghazi on the right. And then I'd have Nakamba sitting defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Luis like a central midfielder, and then McGinn left central midfielder.
So something like that, or would you swap Nakamba and Louise around?
No, so I put Nakamba as like a central defensive midfielder, and then Louise just like a right central midfielder. But then obviously at that point you got Target and Gilbert running the wings as well.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you think, Guri, that leaves us short behind in case, when we're attacking? This is yeah.
It's one of those. Do we go into games straight away to stop them scoring, or do we score and then be able to adapt to a 5 at the back?
Yeah,
that's probably how I'd start the game. Whether we'd finish it that way is a different thing.
We struggled to hold on to leads this season, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know. I think the main thing about this, or the thing that comes out of it, is the players need to fight for each other. You know. So if someone is attacking, there needs to be someone that pushes back. You know, I've played football like for 20, 25 years now. You know, competitive football, and I know that when it comes to a formation, no matter what formation you play, no matter what you know what your abilities are, you need to, if there's four or five people attacking, you need to make sure that there's 4 or 5 people covering those other 4 or 5 people that are attacking. So that's the thing. You can't have 5 or 6 people attacking at the same time, you know, and then leaving bare defense. Well, the defense, you know, ready to concede, you know, or
Mine's quite attacking.
It is. It definitely is. But you can see Target. He's not going to stay behind. You know, you can see him pushing down that left wing, wanting to get up there, helping Grealish out there, and you can see Gilbert as well. You know, we've seen it all the way through this season. He loves to attack. Both of these players love to attack. So what will you do?
That's where the discipline has to come in. Where if one winger is attacking, the other has to sit back and Nakamba fills in either right back or left back. And like you're right, it comes down to that discipline. It comes down to someone thinking, actually, I can't just bomb forward, and go for the glory. I need to sit and make sure. And lads, it does come down to, you've got that little bit of. There's a couple of things here. I know there's one of the things, the obvious one. Yes, we need to make sure we're going in with a positive attitude, because obviously it just breeds positivity, and you're playing well, you're kicking it about. But we need to be able to shut up shop at times, and that confidence. Does the team have the confidence to be able to say, you know, we're not going to let you score? And that's where we struggle this season. The
problem I've got with, so when you looked at our performances for the last, 5 to 7 games or whatever, when we were playing, the lines between our defense, midfield, and attack were too big.
Yeah.
So let's say we were getting pinned back, right? Our defensive line and our midfield line and our attacking line, the midfield to attacking was too much. So he was getting isolated. And then when we were kind of countering and then coming back, the midfield to the defense was too big. The space. So our midfield used to get constantly bombarded because the lines, there were too many gaps between the lines. Now, when there's gaps between the lines, that means there's a lack of discipline in midfield, right? Hence why I think Luis, even though I think Luis is a very, very good player, I do think he's going to be a really good player, but I think he's lacking discipline. I think he's lacking positional play for a central midfielder because he's new to the Premier League in the first team. And I think he's lacking the discipline to kind of hold the lines together. Now, whether he can do that better with McGinn next to him, or whether we put Hourihane in there to kind of fill in that, get the Xavi role. So McGinn's the kind of Iniesta who kind of goes up and dribbles and whatever, and Hourihane is a Xavi that holds, looks for a pass, looks for the simple pass and X, Y, and Z. But I think the main issue that we had is that the gaps in between our lines were too big. So if you look at our defense, they were constantly getting bombarded. So when you say that we were making mistakes, we were conceding too many shots, that's because people were taking so many shots at us and our defense was under so much pressure. It's only a matter of time before someone makes a mistake. There's only so much time that out of those shots that we're going to concede. So I think you can't pick the best players. You have to pick the best players for the balance of our team.
Yeah.
So if McGinn plays better with Hourihane, even though Luis is a better player than Hourihane, right? But if McGinn plays better with Hourihane, then put Hourihane there. And if he gives us that, if he gives us that balance between the midfield and the attack, right? Because you know that McGinn's going to bomb forward. You know that he's going to do that. He's got the stamina to come back too. But when he's running back, you also need someone already there. And Nakamba is going to sit right in front of the defense, right? He's going to be stepping on Tyrone Mings' toes, right? But from
Yeah,
there
that does.
to our attacking midfielder, you need another midfielder there.
Yeah, true.
So, and I just think, looking at Luis, don't get me wrong, Luis is absolutely quality on his day, but I think he's lacking in discipline, and I think he's
A little bit luxury at the moment.
he's a luxury player because he's quite a few times out of position, and I think you need to play players that play well with each other. And I don't think Nakamba and Louise play well with each other. I just don't. I don't think they do.
No, yeah, I agree with you, Monnie. I think at the end of this season, I think this part here we need to go for established partnerships. I would even consider Elmo at right back, have Trez on the left wing, Grealish play in the middle behind Zamata. So you don't even have an Nakamba as a holding behind, like in front of the defence. You have him out of the squad along with Louise on the bench. You have Horahan, McGinn, you have Grealish in the centre, Trez on the left, Ghazi on the right. You have Elmo, because Elmo knows Trez's runs. You got McGinn and Horahan and Grealish, who know each other so well from last season, who were part of that 10-win streak. I'm just going for partnerships personally, but it does leave us exposed. But I think against this next game against Sheffield United, we've got to go for it. This is, again, theoretically, this is a championship team that we played last year. Same kind of like, both got newly promoted, back in the Premier League. We've got to go for it. This isn't a game where I don't think we can hope for 1 point. We've got to take 3.
Yeah.
No.
It's
a game in hand. We have to.
I would go super attacking for this one, and getting Grealish over here, and just put Trez there. And I would put Elmo in on the right back. But again, it's about established partnerships and trying to go for 3 rather than covering ourselves and looking for 1 point.
4-2-4, Randy. That's like a FIFA formation.
It is. It really is. Inspiration, gun ho. Yeah.
Very attacking team. That is.
Rand, the only question I would have is if that fails, right, what would be our second option?
We'll go to 3-5-2, like you're saying. 3-5-2.
But then, no, if we start like this, let's say if we start like this and then we're 1-0 down, right, what could we change? What could we do?
So that's when
become more attacking.
Why don't you put Grealish in the centre? So drop Grealish back with McGinn, Grealish and Hourihane in the middle, or McGinn, Grealish in the middle and Hourihane just behind him, and have the front 3 like that. That's if we're losing, say.
So then we'd go more defensive then by pushing Grealish back.
Well, the thing is I'd keep Grealish forward by bringing the camber in instead of Hourihane. So there is one person back there doing the tackling, the hard work. You got McGinn doing the runs. Grealish can still be in his best position. Trez can do his runs. I wouldn't say Trez is a 90-minute player for us yet. I still don't believe that.
No, he's not.
Take him off at some point. That's when you could either, depending on how the game's going, you bring on either like the Campbell or you bring on Louise and put them in centre and then move Grealish to the left. But again, it's literally we have to go for 3 points.
Yeah. What we also got to remember is that we've got isn't it five substitutes now? We can use up to 5 substitutes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So I think personally, I would utilize as many players as you possibly can. Yeah, get the most out of everyone as much as you possibly can. You know what I mean? So if that means, I know I might be a bit biased around my formation and so forth, but if you start off defensive, right, and you've got some of these players like Target and Gilbert, and you start off 3-5-2, and you're a bit defensive, if it's not working, then you can afford to go attacking because you've got 5 substitutes to utilise. You know what I'm trying to say? So you've got more players to utilise. You can afford to, go a bit more attacking if you're not winning the game or if you're drawing and you need to get to 3 points and so forth. So, but once again, like I said, my personal opinion. You know, everyone's got their personal opinion, so it's just yeah.
Oh, we got to see. We'll see next week, I guess. We'll see what happens.
Exactly. Well,
Wednesday, isn't it? Wednesday.
yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Bring it on, guys.
That's it.
Well,
PV
boys,
will be there.
it's been
PV
a
will be there.
TV. Yes.
boys, it's been a great session. Thank you all for joining us.
Oh, brilliant, man. Well done.
We'll do this again very soon. Let's wish you all the best. Just before we go, quickly, quick group consensus on the score. Just one score before we go.
3-0.
2-1 Villa.
2-1 as well, yeah. 2-1.
2-1. 2-1. Yeah, well, I'll take
3-0.
3-0.
3-0 Villa.
one ambitious
Oh,
one.
yeah, double that.
All right,
Okay,
boys.
boys.
Boys, look after yourself.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay, man. Stay safe.